Hello everyone, welcome back to On The Sideline. We are back with our midfielder section of the Premier League tier list, and now we're looking at number 10s. As always with these tier lists, we haven't made them, so don't come at us if you think other players are more deserving or you think these players on this list in this selection should be in different positions. We found this and it's the most comprehensive list we thought. So as always, I'm joined with Kurt. How you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Happy to be here. Excited to get into these number 10. Something maybe a little bit more exciting than the others, but yeah, very, very excited to get into this.
Definitely when you look at, after talking about CDMs and centre mids, these are more flashy, attacking, lively players for sure.
Yeah.
As always, we're going to go through a list of who we think is world-class, top player, solid, bang average, and bin men. Just looking from the start, there's not a lot of bin men from just the naked eye.
Yeah.
But let's get on with this. Let's start as always, or do you want to go back to front this time?
No, let's go alphabetical order.
So, as always, Kurt's favourite club, Arsenal. Where would you put Mesut Ozil?
It's tough because it's like he's not playing, so how can I really rate him? But if I'm rating him on like when he's playing well, he's a top player, but he's not playing at all.
Do you think he's not world class anymore? Do you?
No, he's not world class.
Even on his
anymore.
day.
He's not world
on
class.
His day.
No, he's not been world class for a long time. I'd say I don't even know. I would like to put him in the bin, but I know if he's playing, he'd be better than the players in the bin. So I'd probably say he's solid. What would you say?
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, as a contribution to like their team, he's possibly the worst out of everyone on this list because he's not registered in the Premier League and he can't play.
Exactly.
So, as a player, he's been world class before. He's still a top player, but when has he shown him being a top player? Probably never, in recent memory.
Yeah.
And I think we could make a strong case for the bin.
Oh, you want to put him in the bin? Do you know what? He's not registered. He's getting picked up by the bin men on Tuesday. That's fine.
He's old rubbish.
That's
outside
fine.
the Emirates.
He's costing £350,000 a week to that club. If anything, he's a deficit more than an advantage. So that's why he's in the bin.
Looking at stats, I don't even. Sure. What did he produce last season?
Did he even play much of last season?
He played
Can't remember
18 games.
I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt.
18 games, 18 starts, 1 goal, 2 assists.
Yeah, rubbish. Bore off in the bin.
XG of 2.2 for assists and 1.3 for goals. Which I don't think that... actually, no, that is quite... That's just bang average. Alright, cool. Now we're going over to his compatriot in Arsenal, Emile Smith-Rowe. A player with a lot of time ahead of him. But he seems to be a name on the list that's just been around for quite a while. Like a lot of these youngsters, he's not like a Saka or an Nketiah to an extent. They've just like finally like come on. Like they seem to have had Smith-Rowe for quite a while now. I know he had a loan at Leipzig, and Leipzig wanted to keep him permanently, but I don't think Arsenal allowed him. Then he was on loan at Huddersfield for last season, and I think he finally made his debut, or maybe one of his first starts against Chelsea, like over the Christmas period. And he did look good. He looked good. He's a willing runner. He's probably the only other 10 in their squad, and that team is crying out for a creative midfielder. It's not like they have a £350,000 £1,000 week asset on there just rotting in the reserves or anything. But I do think it's a stretch to say anything above bang average there.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, I know you said he's been around for a while, but I've only seen him play 2 Premier League games. And that was this last week just gone. And the thing is, though, in both those games, he's looked really solid. He's looked like creative, confident, even at his age and his lack of experience in the Premier League. Still looks very confident. That's what you want from a young player. Just need to see more of it. So for now, really average, but not in a way that he's a bad player. Just think he needs time to shine. So yeah.
Sweet. We move on to Villa, and a tale of 2 different players here, but 2 pretty impressive so far this season at least.
Yeah.
I'll let you start. Go on. How do you think of Jack Grealish?
Jack Grealish, for me, I can't put him in world class, obviously.
No.
But I think he's a top player.
Secured for 2 or 3 in this.
But I think he's a top player.
Yeah.
He's just solid. He runs that Villa attacking, the attacking side of Villa. It is him basically, and a few people around him. But he creates everything. He scores goals. Everything you could want from a number 10. Basically, Aston Villa's Bruno Fernandes, and he's been doing it for longer. So yeah, rate him highly. Top
I think last season he mainly played in the 10 role, but I know at times he's like drifted off to the left wing and still been as effective. He's a player that brings players into the game. He loves to have the ball. He can shoot, he can score, he can assist. He can do pretty much everything really.
Yeah, captain as well.
Yeah, and I think he got a lot of shit in the press when he was coming up the ranks at Villa. Obviously, there was that release video of him like doing laughing gas in Mali or something, and a lot of people probably don't like him because of that side that they think. But he just recently he just lets the football do the talking. He just puts his performances on. He's finally broke through into English. Yeah,
I'm glad Villa stayed up, because I think they've done really well this season. But if you think about it, they barely stayed up last season. Like really lucky to stay up. But I'm really glad they did.
They stayed up in the last game of the season. So
yeah.
Stats don't lie either. Like last season, 8 goals and 6 assists in 36. He was Villa's best player, and he still is. Now they've added to it. He just can't. Let's move on. Ross Barkley is an interesting one because there's a player there, and he could have gone on to better things when he was at Everton. He was tired around moves. People were thinking, this is England's next big thing. There was comparisons with Rooney on how he played. And then he took I think injury halted his career, and he took a really weird move to Chelsea when they bought him for 15 million. It was a snip, but he was bought in a sense that a lot of people thought maybe, he's just going to cover the English quota. But he has proved out as wrong in a sense that when he plays, he can put a shift in. Like I know at Chelsea, for say, Sarri used to just sub him and Kovacic almost like religiously every game, and he just didn't overly perform at Chelsea. Like probably when they bought Danny Drinkwater for 35 million, that like made this like critics say that he wasn't a flop because they were always comparing him to that deal. But now he's joined Villa on loan this season. He's been excellent. His like link up play with Grealish has been ridiculous. Like he's helped Grealish a lot more than I think any person would think when they made that loan signing. I think he's a nailed down solid player in this list.
Yeah, I think he's solid. I think it's a shame because he's like 27 now. He hasn't really got too long left to sort of. He's got, not too long left. He still could have 5 years or so, but he's not a young player anymore. But I think he really is solid, and I hope that he does go up from here, even though it's a bit late. I do hope he goes up from here.
Yeah, I think he will. He'll be a solid Premier League player for the rest of his career, and that's not a bad thing, is it?
Yeah, true.
Okay, we've got Brighton next. Firstly, we have Alexis Mac Allister, an Argentinian international, I think.
Yeah.
Or it's definitely been called up to the squad. With that name is remarkable, really. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's an amazing player. I don't think he's a bin-worthy player either. I don't think he's nailed down a slot in that Brighton team, but I know Potter likes to rotate quite heavily on that that forward line. Last season, he had 4 completed live ball passes that led to a shot attempt, which is one of the worst in the league out of these players. But he only played how many games? He only played 9 games last season and started 4 of those. So I think he's still getting into the league, getting into the side. He's only 20. I'd just say bang average probably. It's fair.
Adam, he's getting in the bin.
Really?
Yeah, he's not done that. The calibre of these players are all quite high. If you look at these players,
he's done more in the league than Smith Rowe.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, but Smith Rowe's young and he's got that excitement about him. I know McAllister's young as well, but he's not great.
We'll put him in the bin. We'll put him in the bin. Pascal Gross, though, I don't think deserves to be in the bin.
No. Wait, is McAllister the ginger one?
Yeah.
Okay, one second. Let me swap them back. Pascal Gross is decent. Better player. Should be starting more. I think he rotates too much, Graham Potter, and I think we saw that against Arsenal last night because the team's not gelling properly. And they play very nice football as Potter wanted to, but they're not. They lack that finishing touch, shall I say. They lack that viciousness to get the goals, and that's the issue for Brighton at the moment. That's why they're struggling so much. They do play really nice football, they pass it around well, but they're just not that sort of not bloodthirsty enough, basically, in the final third. And I think Grosh is good, not good enough to be a solid player. I think he's average. Is that fair?
Yeah. That I think that's fair. He got 4 goals and 2 assists last season in 22. His expected assist rate though is 5.2, which is 5th in the league out of these players, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But maybe he's just one of those players where stats don't reflect his actual output. Obviously in that side, he can have all these expected goals and assist stats that he wants. It doesn't matter if they're not actually put in the back of the net, is it? So yeah, I'll just put him bang average.
Yeah.
Chelsea is an interesting one because the potential of at least 2 out of the 3 is they have world class potential. Do I think they're there yet? It's debatable. Who do you want to go with first? Who do you think's the best out of the 3?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think right now it's between Mount and Ziyech. Ziyech looked really good at Chelsea before he got injured. Now he's injured, they've actually not won so much. They're not winning. So they've sort of had a bit of poor form recently, Chelsea, since Ziyech actually been out of the squad. I really like Ziyech and I really like Mount. It's a weird one because the thing is, Havertz could potentially be the best of the 3. But at Chelsea so far, we've not seen any of it yet. So it's quite a difficult one if you want to do it on. We've got to remember this is a Premier League tier list. Yeah. We've not seen much from Ziyech yet. We know that Havertz. We know Havertz is a great player, and I think he will end up being the best of the 3. And I think he's probably in the top 11 or top squad of most expensive players in world football. But right now, I'd say Havertz solid, and I would say Ziyech and Mount top players. People don't give enough respect to Mount as he's due. He really is a solid player. He works a lot of positions.
I am looking at stats last season, and there's a stat I found for goal creating actions, and he's second in the league out of these players, only behind De Bruyne. And he created more goal creating actions than Grealish last season. So there's always that debate that we had in the England tier list of Mount, Grealish, and Maddison, which we're going to have again in this.
Yeah.
And he does. I think Mount is probably the worst out of the 3, but that probably shows how stacked that Chelsea side is in that sense. Because I think Ziyech's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it was really weird when they signed him midway through the second half of last season. It was announced that he was coming in January, in the summer. Sorry. But yeah, it's hard to with Havertz, it's hard to say that he is a top player yet because we're looking at Leverkusen. He's probably the most versatile of the 3 because I know that they played him on the wing, they played him as a shadow striker, as a cam, even a deeper role. And then I don't know if he's proved it yet. He's making that step up now, but he needs to actually hold down that spot in that Chelsea side. Yeah. So I'll agree with you with Ziyech for sure, and then the stats don't lie with Mount. To be fair, it's hard to say, but yeah, I think
he does a lot more than what gets noticed. He does do a lot more than what gets noticed.
He's also got an expected goal rate of 7.2, which is also second in the league last season. So 7 and 5 goals and assists last season with a player he played 32 actually. So he played let's put Mount in.
He does a lot in between the midfield and the attacking line, like moving the ball around in dangerous areas. He
always seems managerial favourites as well, like Southgate.
There's a reason why Southgate and Lampard do rate him so highly. There is I know the Southgate one is a little bit silly because we've got a lot of options, but he does do a lot.
Yep. Alright, moving on. Oh, just to say before this, I know a few clubs aren't listed on this list. Like, there's no Burnley players, shock. There's no creative team, 10 in that squad. Yeah. There's no Southampton players. There's no Sheffield United players. There's probably players in that squad that could be in this list, but here's what it is. Don't come at us with pitchforks, please, Burnley fans. I know all one of you are probably out there. But Max Meyer next. I'm going to say he's going to join his fellow German in the bin with Mesut Ozil.
Yeah, I agree. He actually showed a bit of promise before he joined, but... Yeah, just been.
Yeah, he was I think he was one of Schalke's captains from a young age. Obviously, like when Goretzka left the thing, another product of that academy, and people thought, oh, we've got a player here. I remember, I think he made his debut for Germany quite early, and then went on a free to Palace.
Yeah.
I think he took the number 7 or 10 shirt, thinking big things, did nothing, still has done nothing. If you have a player of that apparent quality from other teams, or even not even quality, sorry, creative output, but Hodgson just will not revert from a 4-4-2, and Eze's come in as much better than him. Eze's probably more deserving to be in this section than him.
Definitely.
But it was. Move on to Everton. Tale of two different stories here. A player who joined in on free who's actually class, and a player who joined them for 50 million and is just not actually good anymore.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned in the previous episode that Gylfi Sigurdsson's dog shit. But,
he was really good.
Yeah,
he was really good. But he's just sort of lost it now.
It's like with Torres, isn't it? When he joined Chelsea, 50 million price tag has just loomed over him. He's just not that good.
Yeah.
I think
like a quality
my favourite thing
mid-table
about
creator, but Everton want to be better than mid-table now.
He's aging now as well, and his legs are going, and I think his stats are going downhill as well.
You think he's in the bin, or you think he's average? I think maybe average.
He's probably better than a lot of the bin, but I would put him in the bin as a whole. But go for average.
Yeah.
What did he
and
produce
what do you think about Hammers?
Last season, 3 assists and 2 goals in 35 games. That's appalling.
We'll put him in the bin, actually.
Hammers.
Put him in the bin. Yeah.
Hammers, world class on his day. I don't know if he's world class now. Arguably one of the signs of the summer. I remember you said recently with Freiburg, but he was a free, which is ridiculous.
Was he free?
Thinking a player that have got. Yeah, he was a free.
Wow.
Real Madrid just let him go. So.
Yeah, I'd put him in solid.
Minimum. I'd say top player, easy.
You think top player?
Yep. He's galvanised that Everton team. You just see the quality of him on the ball is unreal.
He'll be back soon. He's a top. Yeah, I guess he is a top player. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think he's got more of a case. I know Grealish is performing at an almost world class level, but he would probably be the one most likely to make that leap up. I know he's older than everyone. Okay, we've got 2 players here for Fulham. Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Josh Onomah. I think Josh Onomah obviously came through from Spurs.
Yeah.
Don't know if he did anything for Spurs.
Never,
I don't know if he scored.
ever was good enough at Spurs to get.
I don't think he fulfilled any potential that he may have.
No.
I think for Fulham, he's a decent player for them, but they lack creativity. But I also think, like we said, he's one of those players. He's probably just a Championship player.
Yeah, Onomah can get in the bin.
I think the bin is harsh for him as opposed to the reasons the other players are in the bin. But I just don't think he's good enough for the league.
Yeah, not just good, nowhere near as good as the other players in it. And what do you think about Loftus-Cheek? So I kind of think he's average. And I think he's younger than how old is Loftus-Cheek? Like 23 or older?
Loftus-Cheek's 24.
I would say he's really average. I wouldn't say he's good enough to be solid. What do you think?
Obviously, he went to the World Cup of England, which was quite surprising. I think he had that very good season at Palace on loan. I think there's a quality player there, but I just don't think he's ever shown it. Like he should, these moves, he really needs to prove that. Fulham, I know Villa wanted both him and Barkley when they signed, they loaned him, and they could only take one from a club, and they went for Barkley, and it's probably rightly so. But Barkley's got a few years on Loftus-Cheek, and I never know with Loftus-Cheek what actually his role is.
I don't want him to end up like Barkley, where he's 27. He's just finding a bit of form. I want him to find it soon.
Yeah. I'd go bang average, but he's on the he's probably the top of bang average. He's better than Gross and Smith-Rowe.
Yeah.
Alright, we move on to Pablo Hernandez. Very good servant in football. He's done wonders for Leeds. Is he Premiership quality?
Season?
I'm not sure.
Is he playing for them this season?
I don't know. I
remember the Championship before they got he was phenomenal. Not even last season, the season before last, he was phenomenal. I think he was their best player that year. He's played a big part of them getting promoted. So, but in the Premiership, I don't even know if he's even playing now. I don't even remember watching.
He's played 7 games this season and got 2 assists. I'd be willing to say he's bang average just for what he's done.
Yeah.
But you could bin him.
No, I put him really average. I do rate him a bit. Quite a technical player.
Okay, James Maddison. I feel like we've spoken of the comparisons between him and Grealish and Mount. It would be a disservice to put him not in top player.
Yeah.
I think he is phenomenal. I think he missed out on that big move to United, I think 2 seasons ago. Well, touted big move. And I think injury hampered his career a lot. I don't think he's played enough for England that he should have.
Yeah.
But Mount and Grealish probably all haven't played enough for England as they should have.
Apart from
he's like Leicester's... Yeah, I think like... Obviously Vardy's their leading scorer and their main man, but he is the main fulcrum of that team. He does everything.
Yeah, he's a top player.
Yeah. Jose Perez. He was a 10 at Newcastle. He's more deployed on the right for Leicester. Obviously, they signed him for 30 million from Newcastle, and everyone was like, "What the hell was that for? How is he worth 30 million?" And I still don't think he's actually lived up to that £30 million moniker. He played 33 games last season, scored 8 and assisted 4.
That's not bad, but
yeah,
I've seen him play, and he's very. I'm not sure if this is right from those stats, but I think he had like either a very good start or like a period of a few games where he played really well. But he's quite inconsistent. I don't think he's 27, so he's not a young player, and he needs to be doing better for that fee and for the team.
He plays very hot and gold. I think.
Yeah, I think
those
he's average.
stats were inflated by. I think he got a hat trick against Southampton.
That's what I mean.
Win.
Yeah. I think he's average.
He had expected goals at like 5.7 and expected assists at 4, which is the assist is quite good for these players, but the goals is very minimal. Like not minimal, but like very middle of the road. So like, I think he's bang average.
Yeah.
Could make a point for solid, but bang average.
But we'll have to wait and see if he does. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, easiest one on the list now. Kevin De Bruyne, world class. He's probably the best player in the league.
World class.
Of all positions. There's nothing needs to be said. The guy's phenomenal. He can do everything really. Might need to like clean up on his penalty taking, but obviously last season got 20 assists, which was broke the Premier League record. His expected assist rate is 18.4, which
That's
to make
mental.
a comparison, that might not sound like, that might just sound like a random number, but no one is in double digits in the rest of this list. Like the next is Maddison at 7.4.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So and then he's got the highest expected goals in the list as well. Like, yeah, just can do everything. Okay, we'll move on. I thought there'd only be 2 in this list on world class, but I'm happy. I'd actually put Bernardo Silva in world class.
Yeah, I would as well. I was going to say that as well. I think they're both world class players. Bernardo Silva is absolutely fantastic as well. I don't know if he's been injured recently or if he's been lacking a little bit of form, but he's a fantastic player as well.
There's a claim that he isn't really a number 10. Like obviously he started the season, like when they bought him he was, but like Pep just loves to play him on the right, which
he's only 26
for some
as
reason.
well.
Yeah, he can play on the right. He can play in the centre mid. Like, he seemed to be like the regen of David Silva by name.
Yeah,
but then obviously Foden came along.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I just mentioned, Foden deserves to be on this list. I don't know why he's not in it. Maybe on post production we'll put a little picture of him in. Where would you put Phil Foden?
I would say right now he's solid, and I think in not too long he'll be a top player. I really rate him. I think he's good. He's not done enough for me quite yet to be a top player. I look at the other players in there, like he's not doing as much as Grealish is doing. Ziyech, there's an argument for him to be a top player, but I think right now he's solid. I think considering he's like 19, he's fine to be there now, and he'll definitely push up in the future.
I think I agree with you. I think he's a step below the Maddisons, the Mounts, and the Grealishes, just because he hasn't really had a full season of like a full season playing week in week out. I think on talent wise, he's probably he has world class ability, but solid for him. We'll put him in solid. Yeah. Now we move on to Manchester United. We'll get the easiest one out of the way first. Bruno Fernandes is world class.
Yeah, world class.
Guy does everything. I've never seen a more galvanising player and signing from any club in recent memory. He's literally hit the ground running. He came from like relative obscurity in Sporting as well, and the guy's a freak with the stats. maybe everything is coming off for him, and he can have bad games where he just tries too hard. He plays football like everything's going to come off, which can be frustrating when it doesn't. But when it does, you're just like in awe.
Yeah, and it's something that he does a lot as well. Like, he really makes it happen. And I think for a long time, United have been, since obviously Fergie left, they've been in a bit of a struggle with sort of finding that massive club that they've been. But I think he's really come in, and we always thought it was the managers they need to sort it out. I think it now, and it's shown more than ever, that it is a squad. Like the lack of the quality they had before, but now they've got Fernandes. He's absolutely turned that squad around, really. Because maybe, I don't know if it was dressing room talk before. You could say anything. It could just be lack of quality. It could be issues in the dressing room. Whatever he's done, he's come in. I think he'll be captain not for long if he's not already captain. He's absolutely phenomenal, and he's just really like giving the fans something to be excited about. He's a joy to watch. Yeah, top player, world class, almost from nowhere as well. Yeah.
Yeah. United always had a problem before him that they really struggled at when a team would like sit back and like just stick like 6, 7, 8 men behind the ball in a deep block, and he was like, we're crying out for someone to unpick a defence, and we finally have it. We used to just rely on Mata in that position, who I think we'll move on to Mata now. On his day, he was class.
Yeah.
His best days are behind him. Solid is a stretch, but I think it's kind of worthwhile.
Yeah, he is getting on
because
a bit
when
now.
he's been called upon this season, he has really helped as an impact off the bench, or has started well. He's got a little good partnership with Bruno. I know it might be a stretch, but only looking at 2 solid players in this league, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I'll put him in solid, but I would say he's probably near the bottom end of solid, but yeah, I'll put him in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's like his class shows like... Obviously, like, you could make a claim that he's bang average and Hernandez is bin worthy, but I don't think that's fair.
But the thing is, I want Lingard in the bin, Adam. I'm putting Mata in solid, but I want Lingard in the bin. He's not even playing now, yeah. He had like a season or so of like... I'm not sure if it was just luck or just a massive confidence out of nowhere. That maybe he had a big confidence boost. He did do well for a bit for United, but now his time is... It just showed almost how desperate United were when he was doing well, because now... that you can just see that he's getting nowhere near that squad.
I don't think he's been worthy compared to the rest of it, but I will allow it. I feel like he's definitely a confidence player. Definitely. I think he's a confidence player for sure. I think I like how England have progressed, that we don't have to rely on him as our attacking mid.
He scored that one good goal against in the World Cup. We won like 6-1 in that match. Like... against Panama, and like, yeah, he's just one of those players. I don't know. I don't like him. I think he's doing other shit apart from football. He needs to focus on his actual game.
I really think he is a Premier League player. I think a lot of people on this list, in the bin especially, aren't Premier League players.
He's a Premier League player, but how is he still a United player? That's my question.
He's got a lot of wages, and like, they struggle to get rid of him. But like, I've been hearing links of loan move to Sheffield United, which probably do wonders for him. It probably won't do wonders for Sheffield United. But, yeah, it's hard to argue. His stats last season, he scored 1 goal in 9 games. He only played 9 games? Oh, no, he played 22 games.
You've got better players now.
Yeah, no, I know, completely. Yeah. Like, I'd probably argue that Donny van der Beek would probably be on this list more than his centre mid. Yeah, but he's transitional. But, yeah. Begrudgingly, he's in the bin. But good luck, Jesse. You always like him. You like to see him do well. Miguel Almiron.
Expensive, wasn't he?
He was one of their more expensive signings. I know he came from Atlanta. Nah, I think he was maybe 20, but obviously they signed him from Atlanta, in the MLS. And he went on that really barren run of not being able to score, but he would do everything else. Like, I think he is one of Newcastle's better players. I don't think that says a lot, but let's see. Last season, 4 goals and 2 assists in 36 games. Expected goals of 6.3, which is pretty decent. Expected assists is 1.6, which isn't.
It's 24 million euros.
Solid's a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he's really average, but I want to see him do better in the future. I think there's definitely a player in there.
Yeah, he's probably... I'd argue he might be the best out of this bang average lot.
Yeah. I don't mind Perez so much, but yeah, I agree.
Okay, Henri Saivet.
Bin.
Don't think he played at all last season. Don't think he's played this. He's not played this
Massive
season.
bin, man.
Yeah.
The worst
Massive
of the
bin,
bin.
man.
Probably the worst of the bin.
Yeah. No, he is absolutely.
And that's
the worst
Ozil doesn't even play. Not even registered.
Yeah. Right, Dele Alli. I'd easily put him in the bin as well, but he's probably better than that.
The thing is, at Spurs the last year, he's not been great. And Mourinho's obviously not favoured to him too much, which I like, because I think like Poch really sort of babied Ali. And I think Mourinho's been a bit more hard with him, because I think he is one of those players that's not really training too hard. He is a luxury player, really. And Spurs, we don't really do luxury players, to be honest. A bit more now, maybe, but by the wages and stuff, you know what I mean? We don't have that sort of luxury. But I think if he left Spurs and went to another team, I think he'd be very good. And I think he's a solid player. When he's playing, he's solid. Even actually, when he's on form, he's a top player. But
yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, but I would say solid. I think it's not worked out at Tottenham now. He's still very young, 23, 24. As I said in our other video on the channel, I think he might go to Poch at PSG now. I think that could be a serious transfer, and not just like I know like rooms and stuff, but it makes sense, that transfer. With the money PSG have got, with the relationship with Poch, they need like an attacking midfielder. Could be very good, but I think he's solid. What do you think?
Yeah, I think as Dele Alli a few seasons ago would definitely be top player. Like
probably is better.
There was obviously reasons. Yeah, he's not better than Havertz though.
No.
There's always a range
solid
in these tiers, within the tiers themselves. Yeah, he's solid. Like I was saying, when Mourinho joined, he really found like you'd think, oh, Dele Alli will do well from him. He'll make him a bit of a prick. Like he'll make him like that. And then Dele Alli really like started when Mourinho first took over. He was really good, but then somehow they just fell out probably, or like he just got injured, or he just never really kicked on. I would love to see him at PSG. I want more English players to just go on and do well on the continent. I just think it's something like obviously like maybe not with Brexit happening, might like impact things, but like if they like. You never really see people go to other clubs and do well. Like when Bale went, I know he's Welsh, but like it's another British player doing something in a bigger league. Like you want to see these like players like broaden their horizons, not just stay in one league.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not kicked on, and then like three people above him, all for England and in their clubs, have just overtaken him in Grealish, Mount, and Maddison.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Conor Gallagher. Arguably, maybe not a 10, but I don't think he's been worthy. I think he's one of the only good players for West Brom this season. That says a lot, or it doesn't really. But I think he is just bang average. He's very young. On loan from Chelsea, came through that academy. I think he's just going like next season could be big for him.
Yeah,
probably won't be in Chelsea, but I think he's bang average.
No worries.
And then finally, we've got the West Ham boys, Lanzini and Fornals. You probably hate Lanzini for that goal he scored against Spurs this year. But Lanzini's an interesting one. I know people really like him, but I've never really rated him all for the match.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, like he's one of those players as well. You see glimpses of.
Yeah. Last season he got 2 assists.
I was going to say they're both solid, but then looking at the solid players, they're not really that good. I'd say they're probably both really average, but they're like the good of average. You know what I mean? If you think one's better than the other, then I'd say put that one in solid. If you do think one is better than the other one.
What are we looking at this season? So this season we're looking at Fornals 15 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists. Lanzini we're looking at 8 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist.
Yeah.
Do you look at last year's stats?
They're quite similar players.
Yeah, I think Lanzini's had a lot more injury. Like I know, like Fornals came in, he was quite highly rated as in the Spanish systems. I was surprised West Ham got him from Villarreal, but like he kind of really didn't kick on. Like, last season, 5 goals and 2 assists. So clearly, if you look at both stats just from goals and assists each season, Fornals is the better player.
Yeah.
So I'd probably put Fornals in solid.
Okay.
And then Lanzini.
Do you think he's better than like Almirian?
Yeah.
All right. Fornals is solid.
Yeah.
Lanzini and really average. Do you want to take them through?
Yeah, I'll sum up. Probably a shorter one than other episodes because there's just a lack of players. So in world class, we've got Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, Bernardo Silva, obviously, Bruno Fernandes, probably arguably most informed player in the league right now. Over the calendar, yeah. Sorry, let's say that. Top players, we've got Jackie Grealish, Hakim Ziyech, Mount, James Rodriguez and James Maddison. Can't really argue with any of them.
Yeah.
Solid, Ross Barkley, Kai Havertz, Phil Foden, Juan Mata, Dele Alli, Pablo Fornals. All for different reasons. Definitely a range in there. Kai is probably the top, Matt is probably the bottom. Bang average, we've got Miguel Miron, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Iosi Perez, Conor Gallagher, Manuel Lanzini, Pascal Gross, Pablo Hernandez. The only good thing from that FIFA clip which went viral. And Emile Smith-Rowe. Then in the bin, we have Alexis McAllister. Sorry, mate, you don't sound like an Argentinian footballer. Max Meyer, you have not done anything. Gylfi Sigurdsson, 50 million what? Josh Onomah, you're just a championship player. Jesse Lingard, sorry, mate. Henri Saivet, Captain Binman, and Mesut Ozil. You can't even be paid to play football, mate.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
And you're the highest paid player in your club, and you're not even registered for the squad. That is a shambles. If there ever is one. If that's not a bin job, I don't know what is, Adam.
I'm not sure. He might be the highest paid player on this list.
Yeah, it probably is. I don't know about KDB and Bernardo, but apart from that, he definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah, that says a lot, guys. Yeah. So yeah, this sums up the number 10s or cams. I hope you've enjoyed. It's a bit of a shorter episode than the others. Hope you're enjoying the content on the channel so far. Thank you for all the support. We've been on the sideline today. This has been the tier list for the cams.
Yep.
The usuals: like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us if you think we're bin men for putting Mesut Ozil in the bin. Or settle the debate. Who's better out of Grealish, Mount and Maddison?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. So, I've been Adam. This has been Kurt. Thank you very much for watching. And see you later.
Yep. See you soon. Thanks, guys.